Hey.
How's it going? It's Martin Taylor, Robin Nolan. We're live in London. And should we play some music?
Yeah, let's do that. This is good. This is up close. This is
Totally.
really good. Okay.
Here we go. Sit back, relax, and this is going to be fun. One, two, three.
Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. There you go, that's magic.
Yeah. Hey,
Brilliant.
Good, How you
Good to
doing?
see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
We're live here in London, and this is the our Django Favorites Hour of Power.
Hour of Power.
How does that sound to you?
Did you make that up?
Yeah,
It sounds
just did.
good. I like it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be playing tunes from our brand new guitar course, our Django Favorites,
Yeah.
and talking a bit about those tunes and teaching some juicy little mini lessons in this live broadcast.
Yeah.
Let's start with that tune, Swing 42, written by Django and Stefan.
Django Reinhardt, Stefan Grappelli, yes. And I've often wondered about this because someone said at Swing 42, well, actually, 1942, Django and Stefan were in different places.
Right, in the
1942.
middle of the war.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the war. Django was in Paris and Stefan was here in London at that time. And during all the years that I worked with Stefan, I always meant to ask him that question.
Right.
I never got around to asking it, so I don't know. Any answers on a postcard, anybody? If anybody knows the reason about that tune.
How did they get together
Not
to
Swing
write
84.
Swing 42? They obviously didn't have a Skype or anything like that, did they?
Well, do you know, there was... I remember Stefan telling me once about sometimes they would actually write a tune just before they went on stage. And if you... One of the things we forget about, of course, that they didn't play for concerts. That was a concept completely unknown
for dances,
at that time. They used to play for dances, and they were just about to go on stage, and Stefan was tuning his violin, and he played.
Right, there you go.
And Django went. Now that it's the kind of thing that if that was in a movie, in a Hollywood movie, you'd say, they're making that up. But
Yeah.
That's actually what happened. And they said, well, what do we go for the bridge? And we said, just go up the semitone.
Yeah, right.
That's how
And
it came
Daphne,
about.
yeah.
It was just
That's
tuning the violin.
Yeah, that's brilliant. We get a lot of questions about improvising. How do you solo over all these jazz tunes and gypsy jazz tunes, whatever it's called? That's the main thing. And for me too, it's like you get to your solo bit, and what do you do which sounds natural yet fits through the changes? It's inventive. It sounds good. You often teach students about using the melody and developing the melody. And you kind of do nice things with that on Swing 42.
Well, I was doing it there. You can even there's a whole thing about the way improvisation is taught. Jazz improvisation is taught it's saying, well, you can play this scale over this chord, or over these changes, things you can play. That's one way of looking at it, but there's a far more musical way of doing it, and it's how all the old jazz improvisers used to improvise. Stephan, Django, Louis Armstrong, Bix Beiderbecke. They just played the melody and then used to play around with the melody.
Yeah.
So if you're playing in this style, it sounds more fitting if you improvise melodically. So you can have this. Now I can vary that melody just a little. So I'm just varying it very slightly. Goes back, European classical music always had variations on a theme. So you're taking the theme, just varying it, and then you can take it further out. You can start adding chromatics like this. If we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll add some chromatics.
Yeah, I love that.
So you join it all together. So you're not just playing, right, this scale fits over that, this scale fits over that. It can sound a bit disjointed when you do that.
It never works. If you hear a player doing that kind of thing, you just know that that's what they're thinking. And I think this musical way of playing it is great. And like the chromatics, you can kind of look. It's like the glue. It kind of glues things together.
It just holds it all together. It's a melodic form of improvisation. And the way I always think of it, if you're just saying, well, this scale fits over this chord, and then if these chords are in sequence together, then I can go from this scale or this mode into that one to that one. It reminds me. Do you remember they used to get them for Christmas a lot of the time? Used to get a paint by numbers.
Right, exactly, a little kit.
And it would have the outline of it'd be a little cottage or something, a little house, and it would have all the numbers in number 12, number 6, and you'd get the paints. They all had numbers on it, and you would fill it in like that. So at the end of it, you'd have an oil painting, but it didn't quite look right, because it was just these little blocks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. You're kind of putting the numbers, superimposing the numbers over the changes, and it has that little bit of painting by numbers kind of feel about it. That it's not flowing in the same way that melodic improvisation does.
You're right there, and I think it's just whatever level you're at. I think you find yourself getting caught up in all that stuff with Martin talking about, scales and technique, and it's like, wait a minute, what tune are we playing here? Let's take a step back and start. It's a great place to start.
Yeah, well, this is simple. If you know the melody and you know the chord sequence, then you just play the melody and you improvise very gently around that. Just vary it slightly. My dad was a jazz musician, and he was, like myself, he was self-taught. But I remember him playing a Django record to me one day, and listening to this track, and Django played the melody, and then Django went into this improvised thing, all this real magical stuff started happening. And my dad started smiling. He said, "You see that? What he's doing there, he's improvising." And I said, "Well, what's that?" And he gave me the best jazz lesson I've ever, jazz improvised lesson. He says, because I was only a little kid, so he thought, I'll keep this simple for him. He said, well, what it is, he's played the melody over the chords, and now he's making up his own melody as he goes along over the same chords.
Right.
It clicked with me immediately. Right. That's why, from a very little age, I could improvise.
Yeah.
And because I listened a lot to the music, so I absorbed some of those phrases and some of the musical vocabulary that was going on. I was
Yeah.
able to do that from a very early age. Simple, keep it simple.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And then, with our Django Favorites, I think it's a great way that you teach people how to improvise, in that way, I think is really valuable, as well as licks and things that we always do, is that kind of concept of
Well, this is great. I
developing the
mean,
melody.
when you showed some of your little favorite
Right,
little magic moments there,
Yeah.
and that was great how you were able to just keep them quite simple and
Yeah.
straightforward, so they're there for the guitar student to take that information and then play around with it.
Yeah.
It's the great thing about this music. You just keep on, you don't play it the same every time. You just
No,
keep on
no.
expanding on it and doing your thing on it.
That's brilliant. We're live in London. This is our Django Favorites, Hour of Power, and we are, there are students already in the program and joining all these lessons, and you can join in all the fun on this page. There's a button here. You can join in and see what it's all about. But for now, I think we're going to play another song, which is which we teach in our Django Favorites, and this is Django's beautiful Nuage, and I think we both love playing this tune. And should we just play it?
Yeah, you give me the tempo.
Okay.
Do you want me to play the melody, or
Yeah,
are you
you-
going to play
you
the
play
melody?
it.
Okay, we'll share it.
Okay. Oh, you're so nice.
Jazz is democratic, you see.
All right, take it away.
Hey, Robin. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Oh, watch out. Hey.
Ah, I made it.
There we go. Heard that before. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, beautiful tune.
You just got to, I mean, you were talking about the melody before, but on that tune, that melody is so beautiful and powerful that it is a great place to start with improvising.
That's why when you have such a good melody, such a strong melody, and in this music, it's probably the most famous melody as well. You think, well, when it comes to improvising, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like walking on eggshells because you don't want to go too far away.
Right.
But you want to, you can't just.
Yeah.
You can't just play it straight like that.
Yeah,
You've got to
yeah.
do something with it.
Exactly. Those things are nice.
But you keep the essence.
Yeah.
Really keep the essence of
the thing Django does, he just, it's kind of like that. We do black then.
Yeah.
Even just a little phrase.
Yeah. Joins that whole. Yeah. Joins it together, and it has a logic to it as well, because this is very melodic music. It's not angular.
This isn't 80s fusion, is it?
No.
It's not Spyro Gyra.
No, it's not real kind of angular free improvisation or anything.
No, right.
It's beautiful music. It's beautifully melodic music.
Yeah.
So when we improvise on it, you're playing a tune that's beautiful, whether it's a slow tune like this or a fast tune. When you come to improvise it, you can't go out of character of that tune. If you then start playing something that's really kind of jarring, it doesn't work. So you've got to kind of go with that melody and then just take that forward with variations.
Yeah, absolutely. Nuages, we teach this tune in depth, and I mean, we were talking before.
Yeah.
Each of these tunes in our Django Favorites has got 14 video lessons where we dive in deep to every topic about that tune. So we talk about even vibrato. I remember there's a whole lesson where you teach about vibrato.
Yeah.
All the obvious stuff like the chord changes and extra hip chord changes, the melody, how to solo, all these magic touches.
I showed that little. You see, I played that chromatic run in there. Django, on one of the recordings, played this famous chromatic run going from bottom E up to B there.
Yeah.
And I could never figure it out because when you hear him play it and he executes it so perfectly, you can't hear the join anywhere going from one string to the other. And I couldn't figure that out. And then one day I sat down. I just thought, well, how would Django have played that? And I thought, well, Django played single lines just with 2 fingers. So I started to play it with 2 fingers, and it was easier. I understood it. So it's just a matter of...
Exactly, with the 2 fingers.
But then it's really getting this
coordination.
This is one of the things we talk about, the coordination between the right hand and the left hand. It's not an exact science. Sometimes I can get it, sometimes not.
Yeah. I think you just go for it, and like you did then, and you kind of your body just sinks. But like Martin says, that's inside the course. If you want to come inside and see what it's all about, then it's Django Favorites week, and here we are live in London with the Power Hour. And
we've had so much fun doing this as well. It's been the great thing.
I think it's a great fun music to play with guys who just play guitar from any style. It's not about we all the Gypsy jazz. It's like a jazz player, I know rock guys who play this stuff.
Sure, I do too. Yeah. One thing about this music, it's feel good music. It does make you feel kind of relaxed and chilled, and maybe kick your shoes off a little bit. It's got a great vibe to it.
Yeah,
and
totally.
That's the important thing. So even if a player's ability isn't a kind of real virtuoso and be able to play real fast things or anything, that doesn't matter. The thing is to just have the feel, get that real, the tone and the feel is important.
Yeah,
and you get that with all music. You think of electric blues guitar.
Yeah.
And you think of all the players, great blues players, B.B. King,
Yeah.
sound, feel.
Yeah, sound, feel.
That's
sound,
it.
Feel.
And it's so similar to that. It's similar to a lot of electric guitar, where guitar players spend a lot of time with the guitar and their amp and the setup to get the exact sound they want, and then to play with that feel. Sound and feel.
Sound and feel. That is great advice. And you mentioned B.B. King, one of my favorite players. And I think
one note and you know who it is.
absolutely. I think that's the thing with this music, gypsy jazz. People get intimidated by it and they think, "Oh, I could never do that." You know, like I play a bit of blues myself, but I've found, you know, through my travels and teaching and stuff, guys that are actually, well, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I can do that, and then start to have fun with it.
Well, it's like if your first language is English, but you go to France and you think, well, I better learn some French. So you at first you might be a little bit hesitant at first, but then you dip your toe in, and you find yourself asking a few things in French, and it's the same thing. It's a language, so you're just learning another language, but it has a lot of similarities to it.
Mais oui.
Mais oui, bien sûr.
Okay, why don't we play, before we take a break here, let's play, which I call the Stairway to Heaven of this music. It's like minor swing.
Okay.
It's the kind of jam tune, which again, Stefan and Django, I think they come up with it in the studio, didn't they?
That's another thing about this music. It's great jam music.
It is great jam
You can all
music.
get together and play this.
You can get together, you know, it's like Irish music in the pub, you know, people sit in the pub and play it with acoustic guitars, and it's very kind of low tech and simple. Let's play minor swing. So
Okay, there's a few ways of doing this. Okay,
I'll play the harmony there.
okay. Let's see what happens. We'll see what
Let's see
happens.
what happens. We're live here in London, so let's go ahead with minor swing.
Live from London.
Okay, I'll count it in French. How about that?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. 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 That's often the first tune that people learn in this gypsy jazz genre.
Yeah, because
It's kind of a jam tune, isn't it?
well, it is. It's kind of basically a blues anyway, isn't it? It's kind of a minor blues.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a blues that just goes round. It's the one that a lot of players coming into this music for the first time really get into playing this, because it's a tune that you can go around, you can really start trying out your ideas, and it's not a complicated sequence. So you have
that's
to
right.
really think about that. You can just focus on and playing something in the same way that a lot of electric players would get into playing a blues and playing on a pentatonic blues scale.
Yeah, that's right. You're kind of hanging around A minor here a lot, and you know, of course, you can go in. You can make the changes a lot more interesting and kind of your solo interesting.
Yeah.
But there's, you mentioned licks and things. I played that little quote.
Yeah.
From Godfathers, stuff like that, or the which fit over those changes. And
Do you know, I used to play in a jazz band many, many years ago, and you used to get fined for every quote you played.
God, I'd be doing live.
You had to buy every member of the band a drink in the break.
That's great.
If
we
you
should start that again.
Yeah.
I know some guys that would be, yeah.
They'd be into that.
They'd be into that. That's a good one. But like with all these tunes that we dive into with all these video lessons with our Django Favorites, it's nice to be able to I think it's nice to be able to apply the lessons specifically to, for example, minor swing. So instead of saying we're in A minor and D minor, it's like in minor swing, this works great, And I think it's nice to be able to relate it to actual specific songs, which we do in our Django Favorites.
And it's probably the first stage of building up your repertoire as well for Gypsy jazz.
Yeah.
And it's the one, eventually, everyone will play it, because it's the one that everyone can. It's a bit like, it's a bit like in golf having a handicap. Like,
right.
I guess everyone can play it because it's one of these tunes that everyone can contribute and get something from.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Well, we're live at the in London here with the Gypsy Jazz, our Django Favorites Power Hour.
London, look.
We are in England. This is definitely England. And we're celebrating the launch of our Django Favorites with Martin Taylor, myself, Robin Nolan. And it's great that you're joining us live here. There's more to come. There's more fun and games to come. For the meanwhile, we're going to take a quick break. Don't forget, you can actually join in on this course right now. There's a button on this page which you can click, and you can come in, instant access to our Django Favorites. You're going to love it. For now, we'll take a quick break. Hey, welcome back to London. We're live here as part of the Our Django Favorites Hour of Power.
The Hour of Power.
And I'm with Martin Taylor, I'm Robin Nolan, and we're going to launch straight back into some music. We're playing all the songs from our course, and this is one written by Django called Blues for Ike. Here we go.
In the key of A.
Oh, is it A? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. That's jazz. Well, live in London, we're having a lot of fun. That was Blues for Ike.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a very rare blues from Django, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if it's the only one. It could be.
It could be. There might be another one, but that's one which some of the guys in the genre Gypsy jazz, they play.
Yeah, it's a popular
and it's an interesting thing, because I know in jazz and regular jazz, for example, if you got your guitar there, check this out. You start with a dominant seventh in a blues, you know, and you would start with A7 in a jazz kind of thing. But in this music, when we're playing the rhythm, we kind of go just a major chord. So it's kind of like A major, and then the second chord D7, kind of like that, which is kind of different. And it's a very simple, you know, it's a 12 bar, it's a very simple progression. But if you haven't checked out Django's version, you should check it out.
Actually, this is another tune after Minor Swing. If you're just getting into this music, this is another good tune to play. If you're already familiar with playing a blues, anyway.
It's a nice one because the head, the melody is definite, you know. And it's nice when Martin.
I just played it an octave below.
Yeah, it sounds really nice, doesn't it? Sounds really great, even without rhythm behind it. That just sounds,
it can be very
sounds
effective.
Really nice.
And I just put a few chords in there.
Really nice.
Just a little. I was playing an A, so I wasn't playing the root. I was just playing a G, a C sharp, and an F sharp. So it's like a 13th. I guess that would be. We've got the 7th here, the 3rd, the 6th.
That's great.
Just
That's really nice.
Very, just a subtle thing can be very effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really fun. There's so much you can do. You can play it kind of quite simplistically, and you can play all those beautiful kind of jazz licks that you do. Which you teach all this inside the course, don't you?
I do. Again, as far as the accompanying side of that happens is the rhythm style of playing that I normally play. Of course, I kind of change that when I'm playing with you or a Gypsy jazz player. Is I would play more in the. But the way I would play if I was in a different kind of jazz setting, and actually the way I used to play with Stefan was more the way of harmonizing a bass line. So if the bass player was playing. So that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I would do that kind of harmony. So if Stefan was playing, the bass player would be playing a bass line. I would just play these chords in between, because the bass player would already be playing.
Right, he's doing the walking.
And Stefan playing on the top. So I would just play this kind of thing, break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do, you can actually play. You can play a 4 in a bar, but every so often you can do accents.
Yeah, that's fun.
If you play it dynamically, so keep this a little bit quieter than the rest, and every so often do a little stab.
Yeah.
Very effective. It sounds like two guitar players playing, one holding this down, another player.
That's brilliant.
Playing these kind of things.
Apart from solo, and the big topic, and especially with Gypsy jazz, is that rhythm, because you're playing it on the guitar and how to keep it from slowing down.
Well, you're more of an exponent of that than I am.
Things like that. But what tips would you say, just for, because you always stay completely in time. You don't speed up, you don't slow down. How do you consciously do that?
That's really important. I think from very early on, playing with very good musicians, with good bass players, good drummers, where everyone played really in good time. And one of the major kind of sin in jazz is playing out of time.
Yeah.
You know, speeding up, slowing down,
Yeah.
or just not keeping
Yeah.
good time. You've got to keep everything really, really solid. So, yeah, for me, it was actually working with a lot of musicians that
Yeah.
gave me a very good foundation
Yeah.
in timekeeping. Because I find one of the most common problems that my students have actually keeping in time, you know, not fluctuating, going up and down. Also keeping the form, not adding beats, subtracting beats, adding bars
Yeah.
here and there. Just keeping the form and keeping it exactly where it needs to be. Even though this is improvised music, there's a lot of freedom in it. We still have to play around the rules.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of focus and concentration which you need, and even if you're playing, it's not even if you're playing rhythm. I think you know, without the rhythm, there is no music, there is no swing. So I think when if you're a rhythm player and you're playing in your band or jam, and you know, take it seriously and concentrate, and the guys are relying on you to keep the swing. So I think the focus and concentration is so important. With each of these tunes in Django Favorites, you know, we do have a rhythm section. Not a rhythm section, but a rhythm video where for each of these tunes, and the tunes, you know, that we're playing today, Swing 42, Blues for Ike, Daphne, Manbois de Marev, Nuages, Minor Swing. Each of these tunes we have a dedicated rhythm video, which is really important, so we don't neglect this. So for each of these tunes, you know, we'll be teaching you tips on how to apply the rhythm techniques which we use to these particular tunes. So I think that's a really cool video. And by the way, you know, we are celebrating the release of our Django Favorites. It is open. Guys are inside the course right now enjoying it.
We're very excited about this. It's great. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Glad we've finally got together and put this course together, because
It's wonderful.
we could see that this was because of our experience in this music. You know, after many years, we could see that there was a real need for something like this.
Absolutely.
To help newcomers to this music, but also players that have been playing this music for a while, but just want to take things to a different level, to another level.
I think for all gypsy jazz players, if you're sitting there and you've got a guitar like this, and you know, I think someone like Martin, you know, the lessons that he's taught me and teaches in this course can really kind of widen your horizons with playing music and kind of get you out of that rut of always kind of, which a lot of players I see in gypsy jazz kind of get caught up with technique and practicing these arpeggios and scales, and I don't think you really don't get caught up with any of that stuff. It's just about the music. Somehow, you know, you're teaching people how to play music.
Yeah, taking it from that melodic point of view, if you listen to Django, you'll be quite surprised how sparse he plays actually at times, and it's not a lot of flying around. It's very, very melodic, beautifully phrased, beautifully constructed. If you listen to that classic recording of Django, I'll See You in My Dreams, that is a masterpiece in melodic improvisation. How every idea that he plays leads on to another idea, which leads on to another idea. It's poetry.
Absolutely. So all you got to do, on this page, you'll see a button below this video, and you can actually join in the fun right now. You get instant access to, how many hours is it? Like hours and hours of these video lessons.
Well,
you can start.
I think we've got over 80 lessons, so I think it's over 6 hours, something like that. It's
a lot of great stuff
time
to get on with in your own time, of course.
Well, that's
You
the
can
great
work
thing
on
about
this.
doing this, is because it's something that you can just go step by step at your own pace in your own time. And if you were to come to Robin or I for lessons, then you know, if you had a couple of hours with us, you'd get so much information overload. It'd be very difficult to take it all in. But this way, you can just keep dipping in and every so often look at something.
It's a great way to learn. Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing. Wish I'd had this.
Yeah, it saved a lot of time.
It would have saved a lot of time. Let's play something.
Let's play another piece of music. This is a piece we both love to play, and from Django. It's called Django's Castle, or he called it Manoir de Marev. And why don't you take it away, Martin? Oh, you did a beautiful intro for this. I remember.
I can't remember. I'll think.
Yeah,
I'll play something. I'll think of something.
Yeah, just set it up with something.
Manoir de Marève. Ah, are you chilled out now?
Yeah, I'm chilled.
Good.
This is meant to be the power hour. We're mellowing it out with.
We're mellowing in London.
We're mellowing in London with Django's Castle.
Chilling out, yeah.
Manoir de Marève. That is a beautiful tune.
It is so beautiful. It's a tune that, going back to when I worked with Stefan Grappelli, it was a tune I just used to love to hear him play because he could just play a melody. You know, it's just he just knew how to. He used to say, he said the melody, it is like a lemon, you must squeeze it.
Yeah,
so he used to play.
Yeah.
I got a lot of the way that I play a melody like that from Stefan.
Yeah.
He would phrase and how he would play to hold a note on. He would actually play the note play it a few times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
which you don't need to do on the violin because it's a bowed instrument. But for the guitar, where the note has a natural decay.
It decays. Yeah. You're keeping that note going.
So you can kind of re-energize the note. As the note starts dying off, you can strike the note again, you can do it very gently, and it just puts some more energy back into the string again, and holds that note on it. But you can only do it, you've got to do it so that you are definitely playing the note again. It's not to make it sound sustained as such, falsely sustained.
Right.
It's not like playing electric guitar
and
having a sustain, but it's a... That kind of thing. I'm exaggerating it there, but
no, I think that's beautiful. I think it's these little touches and these, like you say, sound, feel. Yeah. It's these things which, I mean, look, you can go out. There's a million books. There's a million things you can learn how to play over D major or A minor. There's books that big just have 2-5-1 progression. Yeah. So, but that doesn't work, does it? It's these little touches and these magic touches. Actually, we call them even magic touches in the course, which I think bring something special to the playing, so you're not just sounding like everybody else. These things can kind of really give you something special and add something to your playing.
Also, there are lots of little things that you can incorporate into your playing that are very, very difficult to teach. It's not until you can get up quite close to somebody. This is why this is so good with the camera. You can get up close to what we're doing. We can show you those little things. You may hear Robin or myself in a gig, and you say, "Oh, that sound that you did there," or "I wonder if it's because of this guitar. I wonder if it's got a special pickup on it or something." It's all in the hands, and when you some of these little tiny detail techniques that can make all the difference, but they're so difficult to see them and to identify them. But in this way, we can show you these tiny tricks.
I think it's great how we structured this course. That we break each tune down into these little chunks, into these little areas, which are all equally important. And
also, because we're doing tunes, we got 6 tunes. Everyone gets to play straight away. It's not like you're learning exercises and then you're going through this and going through that.
That is true.
You're playing straight away. You can start with minor swing, blues for Ike. So there you go. You got two. You've got the hot club version of Stairway to Heaven.
There you go.
You've got a 12-bar blues, and so that can be your kind of entry point into the music, rather than getting into some of those tunes that because in the 1930s and 1940s, the pop music of the time, the popular music of the time, was quite harmonically complicated. Yeah, it wasn't until the 1950s that went back to kind of more simpler kind of sequences. Right. So it's not that anyone was trying to be particularly flash or clever. That's the way the music was written and formulated.
Yeah, absolutely. We're live here in London, and let's just recap what's going on here. And obviously it's Martin Taylor, myself, Robin Nolan, and we're genuinely celebrating this really cool thing, our Django Favorites. And the title says it all. It's 6 of our favorite tunes that we love to play from Django Reinhardt. And we don't only play them, so for each of those tunes you get like a mini performance of us performing these tunes, but we break down every aspect of those tunes in 14 different video lessons. And that's actually, doubled, because Martin plays the tune slightly different than I play the tune. His chord changes are slightly more sophisticated than mine, and etc.
I wouldn't say that.
You would say that. But anyway, that's the beauty of this collaboration, because you've got 2 guys coming from different places, but sharing their love of this music and sharing their knowledge. I think this is a beautiful way to learn this style of music wherever you're coming from.
Yeah, we try to, and I think I know we definitely succeeded in demystifying a form of music that on the surface of it can seem a little overwhelming, a bit daunting. Harmonically, there's more things going on than maybe in some other music you play. Or if you're used to playing music that is harmonically more complicated, but you're not used to improvising then that's another aspect that's there. So, but we demystify that and simplify it, take everything down to the very basics. Then you can then lift it, taking it to the foundations, and then build it back up from there.
I think we kind of guide you through it, so it's like, hold your hand and walk you through this thing and show, well, I've somehow got through it, and Martin plays it, and I think everybody can enjoy this music without thinking that they have to be, you can enjoy this music on so many levels. And this is a great place to jump in. You can see that we're still open for enrollment. Enrollment will close down. And that's it.
Like being handed a great big toolbox.
It is.
With every imaginable monkey wrench and a spanner and hammers and things. It's great.
Yeah, that's right.
We're giving the tools to play this music, really.
Yeah, so it's great that you're joining us here live in London, and we're having a lot of fun. We're going to play one more piece of music before we go and do something else.
Yeah, another coffee, I think.
Another coffee, and this one is Daphne. This is Django and Stefan Grappelli.
Yeah.
Should we give it a spin?
This is the one I was talking about.
Oh, this is the one you were talking about at the beginning, yeah. Exactly. I think Stefan was just tuning his fiddle, and Django heard it and kind of went, oh.
Yeah, they were just backstage. And Django went. Must be the quickest composition ever.
Yeah, probably is it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Here we go. You tune the fiddle, I'll do the bit.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'll do the fiddle, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Go for it, man. Yeah. Up to E. That's it. That's great. Martin, it's been really wonderful to hang out.
Thanks, Robin. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Thanks for joining us in London for the live, our Django Favorites Power Hour. Come inside, see what it's all about. You just got to click on the button on this page and you'll get instant access to all the fun.